YouTube is a minefield. You think you're gonna watch a video and then a guy just advertises to you, and that is what this is. I made an add-on called Easy Overlay, but I'm gonna make it worth your while. Don't leave, please don't leave. So this is the add-on. This is the magical zip file, and let me show you the problem that it solves. Whenever you model anything, assuming you do not have a photographic memory, you're gonna be using reference, which Blender has like 3 ways to do it, and they're essentially all the same. You bring a reference object, let's say it is this car or something, it's gonna spawn from the view, but the issue is it is fundamentally inside of 3D space, which means when I move my camera, like the thing doesn't stay where it should be on the screen. Like you can kind of turn it into an overlay by selecting this to be a depth in front. So now no matter where I do this, right, like it remains on top of all our mesh and all that, but it doesn't map onto the view, and it's kind of a hassle to move around and all of this. Your other option is you can bring in a camera. I'm gonna make my camera move with my viewport, and then I'm gonna enable a background image where that image can be. Let's say it's the same one over here. We get this thing that is now mapped onto the camera, but it's stretched, so we do one of these. Okay, now this kind of solves the problem, right? Like we have this thing in front of us at all times, we can start modeling or whatever, but I can't have 2 images. The best we can do is do some kind of like offset and stuff like that. And the moment that I exit the camera view, it's gone. Okay, so that's the problem we're trying to solve. When you take this zip file and install it, you're gonna see a button right here. This is the Easy Overlay menu, which you can see has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 slots. We load in an image. Let's say it's this top view of a car, and you're gonna see that it's in the bottom left, but because this is the first image in the stack, if I hit Control-Shift-1, suddenly maps onto my cursor, and I can scale it up and position it, and no matter whether I'm in, let's say, like a camera view or not in a camera view, orthographic, not orthographic, it stays there, and I can reposition it easily. As you might expect, you can do multiple layers, so let's have, I don't know, a Ford F-150, which totally is not the same car as this one. This is like a Beetle, but now you have 2 pieces of reference. By default, the hotkey I'm using for these, because I thought it would be simple, is Control-Shift-1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 9. Control-Shift-1 being the first image, Control-Shift-2 being the second, and the beauty of this whole system is it's very modular, right? So if I take the first image, which again is the top view of this car, I swap it out with a picture of me, now it's there with the same size, well, multiplied by the aspect ratio and the same positioning. I could swap it with this image. You can see this image has transparency, and this kind of overlay system works with transparency and layering, so you can have one on top of the other. So let's set up a super simple example. I'm gonna have the first image be a car, I'm gonna have the second image be a car, we're gonna have, guess what, the third image be a car, and then maybe we'll have like the entire atlas I downloaded from the internet. With this setup, I can Control-Shift-4 to put this in the corner. This has everything, but for the things that I want the most detail over, those can be much bigger. Some Control-Shift-1, Control-Shift-2, Control-Shift-3, and it maintains the positioning, right, when I go in and out. Now, this doesn't mean I know how to model a car. I do not. There we go. That is my attempt. We made the Honda Civic Forester, whatever the fuck. That's my pitch. Add-on link in the description. I'm sorry for the advertisement, but I hope it was of value, the idea. Let me show you one more thing. The way I'm doing this is I'm using the Blender GPU module. Basically, this module, this Python thing, lets you draw on the screen, and it has all kinds of examples and stuff like this. So you can draw a line on the screen, triangle, you could draw an image, whatever. I basically took some of these pieces of code and like seriously heavily iterated on it. So just so you know, let's try to copy this piece right here. I'm gonna go to the scripting tab, put in this code, hit play, and now you can see we have this wireframe cube over here. If I mess with the color, and instead of making it 1 for red, I make it 0 and then 1, so in other words, it's gonna be green RGB, and let's make it also 50% transparent, and mess with some of these coordinates so it doesn't like perfectly overlay. We now have a second wireframe cube that is drawn in the viewport. It doesn't show up on a render, which makes sense, you wouldn't want it to, but turns out you can draw on the viewport super easily with the GPU module. Okay, check out the add-on. Thank you.